The American Revolution was a war fought for the people, by the people. One might picture the war as a background for great generals, iconic battles, and colonial vigilantism that allowed the USA to be born. While these are all aspects of the Revolution, in every turning point moment were ordinary citizens who laid their lives down for the cause of freedom. George Washington once said, "When we assumed the soldier, we did not lay aside the citizen." Today we talk about those who were both citizen and soldier, and the great responsibility they bore during the American Revolution. Militias, Minutemen, and civilian soldiers were the backbone of the Revolution and set up the American precedent for sacrifice, loyalty, and the duty of serving our communities. Militias were not professional armies. They were units comprised of farmers, merchants, craftsmen, ordinary men who took up arms when their communities were threatened. With the first militia established in Massachusetts in 1636, it was rooted in colonial law to have one in every town. Able-bodied men between 16 and 60 were expected to serve, and most supplied their own weapons. During the time of the American Revolution, specific militias, patriots, or Whigs, formed to support independence, while Loyalists, or Tories, assembled to oppose them. While there was a definite home advantage to many militias during the Revolution, such as an invested interest in the survival of their communities, along with knowledge of the area and its resources, militias often suffered from a lack of military experience and poor leadership or training. Many times, militias fought independently amongst each other, which led to skirmishes such as the Tory War, following the exodus of both official armies from North Carolina in 1781. While there was definite disorder amongst militias, their impact within the war was still crucial. The victories at Moores Creek Bridge, Kings Mountain, and Ramser's Mill, while relatively small, prevented Loyalists from rising in great numbers and disbanded the British network in the Carolinas. It wasn't just an ideological dispute either. It was a personal and deep-seated conviction to defend the colonial society's livelihood, families, and hard-earned resources. Especially in the early stages of the war, before the establishment of the Continental Army, militias were the primary defense against British forces. They not only formed a line of defense for the Patriots, they began the war as well. While every militia was unique, there was one sect that stood out: the Minutemen, militias of highly efficient, elite members who could assemble at a moment's notice. On April 19, 1775, militias and Minutemen made history. At Lexington and Concord, they became the first to engage British troops in combat, igniting the Revolutionary War. The Redcoats, hoping to suppress Patriot rebellion, marched on Concord to seize the weapons and powder within the town. The Massachusetts militiamen fought back. Using their knowledge of the terrain and unconventional tactics, they enacted significant casualties against the British forces. With strategies such as guerrilla warfare and a strategic use of the land like trees, walls, and stone croppings, the militia was able to fire discreetly on British forces. Their lack of traditional military finesse completely overwhelmed the open-field combat formations of the British Army. While both sides suffered casualties, the battle was proof that the British were not invincible and invigorated the colonial fight for independence. While the military accomplishments of these civilian soldiers were admirable, they also faced many challenges. It was hard to be a militiaman, with inadequate or no pay, frequent disruptions from already difficult colonial life due to low enlistment, and the often brutal British attacks. Many militiamen faced poor conditions during campaigns, and the necessity of maintaining the home front and war front was a hard balance. However, the duty of these men to protect their communities also set a precedent in America. The National Guard has its origins in these militias, in the tradition of civilian soldiers who maintain both a full civilian life and a readiness to defend their country. Militias were also written explicitly into the Constitutional Bill of Rights. A well-regulated militia, it reads in the Second Amendment, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The responsibility to protect the community and the defense of freedom has been woven into our identity as a country, and we have militiamen to thank for it. Many organizations were formed to honor their sacrifices, such as the Committees of Correspondence during the Revolution, which secured resources in each colony for militiamen. Post-Revolution, several organizations were founded to honor and benefit the veterans who fought, such as the Society of the Cincinnati, the Pennsylvania Society for the Relief of Disabled Soldiers, the Massachusetts Soldiers Pension Fund, the Veterans Land Grant Programs, the Society of the Sons of the American Revolution, the Sons of the American Revolution, and the Complementary Daughters of the American Revolution. Today, we continue to honor their hard work and zeal, promoting the preservation of their sacrifices and educating current Americans on the origins of our freedom.